Hello everybody and welcome back to the Band of War Variety channel. Today's video we're going to be doing is we're going to be showcasing a new Minecraft world. So the Minecraft world that is seen on my channel, all the videos, that world has been corrupted upon the purchasing of a new Xbox. So that world is no longer able to be openable or played on or to be edited. So I have created a new world, or not created a new world, started building and adding things to an old world that I may have created around 2017 or 2018. So this is a very historic world, probably about 6 years old, I want to say. When I backed up the file for the world, it says it was about June or January of 2021. But I know I created it way before that. A lot of this stuff wasn't here when the Better Together update came out and rendered Minecraft Xbox One Edition obsolete. So the things that are in this world weren't here when that first came out, but the backup brought them back. So like that thing over there wasn't here. A lot of this stuff wasn't here, but now it is. So I have gotten that world and I've added a couple new things over the past couple weeks. And now we're going to show you this, and this is basically going to be the world that I'm going to be playing on, like I did with the world that I had the neighborhood and things in. So we're going to take a look at the historic stuff first, and then go over the things that I built most recently if we have time, or I might have to make a second video here. I might skip that right now. We're going to start way at the end here. So obviously the cherry tree is a complement of the 1.20 update, which is pretty recent. So that obviously hasn't been here since 2018. I put this barn in, and they added the new, let's hike up the volume here. They added the new sniffer mobs here. And then I had a horse or two that was on my porch of the house. I put them in here as well. And so this is basically the barn. We have a wagon here, or a wheelbarrow. We have a watering hole, or a water trough. And then we come up here, and then we have this area as well for storage. Come out here, we have a little farm of various plants. The new pitcher plants and the new torchfire plants, as well as a scarecrow. I'm going to switch to night, or you can pretty much visualize it. When I turn it to night, this obviously will come on, and it doubles as a different time of Earth time scarecrow. So we have this in the day, and that lights up in the night to be effective. We have a couple contraptions over here. This is just these were all contraptions that were made way back. Like, I want to say maybe Minecraft 1.10. I want to say these were build designs when we didn't have as many blocks as we do now. So these are umbrellas for poles or beaches. I had another portal there. I built like a couple blocks in the nether. Just trying to do something there. We don't need to go there. A step design here. We have a little gym design. A water dispenser. As you can see, it gives you a water bottle. We have a, I don't know what that is, a fan design. I think this had something to do with, I have no idea. There's something with this. I can't really remember. And this is a fireplace design. This is sort of like that board game, operation game, where you dig in the guy and try to find stuff, but it's a zombie head. I don't know why I put that there. We got some slimes here. Let me get my bow on here and take those out. There's various redstone contraptions around the area, as you can see. This was just a green box, but I recently turned it into a dumpster, so as you can see, effects of junk in there. Dumpster, as you can see there. That's that. There's a couple things there. We have the barn. I think I'm going to stay in here and get all this stuff cleared out. Torch fire plants for the sniffers to eat here with the scarecrow. Very large hay bales. I put all those in recently. A hill. A chicken coop. Now, before I came to this is the very old part. This is where the chickens were mainly, but I cut a hole out and had them run out into this area. So a couple places for them to nest here. There's also places where they can drink. So these are water tanks, and that's that. Now, I've built a couple of these worlds where I built an acacia block house, and then I built a enclosure for animals, and then I built one of these places here, and then I built a chicken coop. It was like standard, and this is like the only world of that template that I have surviving, but I always built this structure for some reason. I saw a YouTube video many years ago, like a guy went to the moon, but it was just him sailing through a building like this, but it's designed to look like the moon, and you know, like that space. I have no idea. I always built these, but that's basically this. That's all there is to see in here. I forgot what my thinking was in a lot of these. It's been so many years. So we have that. We have a little contraption here. A lot of redstone practicing. I had pretty much every animal in the game in here. Some of them probably despawned, but I took the doors out so they could be free. A couple of them have chose to stay in there. We had a couple animals in here. I freed them. They were in captivity for many years. Animals up here, freed them. Put some large hay bales in. Don't know what this was going to be. This is my first attempt at trying to make somewhat good roofing on a house. This is before I knew how to build good. So as you can tell, the difference in ability to build from that barn compared to everything else that we see here. And it will get better as I add some more structures in with modern, more grown-up knowledge of how to build. So this is Bill and Jill Will here. Not sure where I came up with them, but this is sort of like just their house / workplace area. I kind of walked in on them in the bathroom. That was very nice. But yeah, we have a kitchen, and then we come back over here. And I'm sorry for the brightness. I'm not too sure why I chose this as a wall material, glowstone. But this is basically a room with nothing in it. Green carpet. Here we have Knot and Nutty Pud Scud or whatever it is. Yeah, definitely some different names that they came up with for these entities that you're going to see in here. And so that's that house. This is the main house. I'll showcase that last before we move out. This is a giant chest full of a couple chests inside. Probably nothing in them, but we're not going to go through that. I've built these a couple times. As you remember, it was in the old world that's on my channel, the other world. I built one of these. But this was pretty much about all the blocks there was in the game at the time, maybe a little bit more. But I just stack every block on top of each other. And the build limit also was not as high as it is now. This was supposed to be a tree house. Don't ask me how that's being supported on that little post. You're supposed to climb vines up. Don't ask me who's going to climb that high. But there was something on these signs, probably, but obviously that didn't save, so they're just blank now. In here, you're going to see there's a bedroom with a toggle light. Also, you see down here, there's a door. 4 doors. This is really not the best design system here, as you can see. Nothing down this hallway. Not sure why that's there. Little like office area in here. I don't know about anybody else, but I probably wouldn't feel very secure in this place, meaning that it's supported on one long log. But obviously I didn't think about that. It's already in there. So we have that, and then there's another bedroom as well. And then that's it for the inside. If we exit to the outside, we will discover that there is a ladder here. This takes us up to the roof where we have a couple beacons, and then we have a diving board into a pool. Probably not the greatest idea to have one of these in here in real life, but obviously I did. And then this is just a closet underwater. Something, not too sure what that is. But yeah, that's the tree house thing. I want, it's not really a tree house, so I just want to call it a tree house. I put this in today, a wheat field. It's still in the process of growing. Over here, I attempted to build a relative's house. Obviously, I wasn't very good at it. So I'm just going to drag you through this. Obviously, it wasn't quite to scale, quite a little big, and didn't look right on the outside either. They live in a really small house, but this, yeah, it was pretty much a disaster. But at least it's another historical structure that we can go back and revisit every once in a while. But yeah, these structures are pretty much an eyesore to look at, but they're so old and so historic that that's why they're kept here, because of that. And if this world should ever corrupt again, obviously I can load it back on. Just any of the new stuff I add to it won't be saved, but I will always be able to get all of these basic structures back. So that's nice. And so that's basically that house. We didn't see the garage. Not that it's, yeah, I think we did already. Yeah, this is the house. Not the sharpest looking house that you've seen, but it's there. So that's everything in this circle area. We'll take a look at this house. This is the main house. This is the farmhouse. That's what the name of the world is farm. All right. And so here we are. Hold on a second. I'm hearing some sounds that I'm not. Holy, these guys get in here. We just take these guys out real quickly. Alright. Okay. We'll look at the upstairs later. But anyway, not sure how those guys got in there. But here we have a nice chair. It's functional somewhat. I built this house after the Hello Neighbor house. When I created this world, I was really into the Hello Neighbor games. And this is when they had come out with, I think, the first alpha version on PC. Obviously, I wasn't able to play any of those because I never had a quality PC for that. But here we have a kitchen. And all these cats, they used to be upstairs, and they used to be cats, but now they're ocelots, and I can't get the change back, so that's that. We have a bathroom in here with the villager who must have taken use of the cauldron that is the toilet. He will not leave, so that's that. I have lights in here. We're going to do a daylight sensor, so if we go to night, these all turn on. Come upstairs, the wiring showing there. We have a really large bathroom and a functional shower that does not look very good. And as you can see, you can wash in there. Okay, so that's that. We also have a light, and that's the shower. Extra toilet paper and things like that in there. Okay, we have the bed here where the cats used to be, a little balcony up here, and then a place you can climb up to the roof. Not sure why you need to go up there, but that's that. We have a PC set up here, like just a computer. This is my wiring stuff. Yeah, and then we have our attic as well. So that's pretty much all that's to this house. And that's that. This was the basement to the neighbor house. Like, you know how you're always trying to get into the basement in those games? And this is the basement. Not really much to see down there. And that is that. I'll put the trapdoor back later. Alright, so we have that. I have a French flag here. I'm not sure why that is, but on this thing. But yeah, that's there. Because they're supporters of France, which is alright. And then we are going to expand outward. Here, we have various contraptions on this side. So, we have, looks like a shooter here. We have a full auto fire charge dispenser, but we're not going to fling that into the barn. That's not going to be very nice. Composter here. Something up here, not too sure what that is. This is just like a trap you in, or like have the pistons follow you type thing. So that's a little bit neat. And then this is like a trap wall, so if you run into it, you can't escape. Just the pistons fly up. And this is all just from watching YouTube videos. I built this stuff years ago, but this is a poison arrow shooting you in the head when you're walking by here, activated by a person behind this painting here. So that will shoot that out of there from the painting, from behind the painting. So that's a little trap there. We also have just some piston pushers here. This is back when animals spawned regularly in flat worlds. They don't anymore, so that's why there's so many of these. I also put some camels in the new update. A little wheat sector here. A TNT storage, and then this is your house that you spawn into in the Hello Neighbor games. Usually it's right across from the neighbor's house, but instead I put it way out here. And then, you know, you unpack your stuff and take it into the back of the room and then try to attack the neighbor's house or sneak into that. But that was the purpose of this, and then this was all the crap you had to put in your house. And then your car that you can't fit into. But yeah, that's that. This was originally going to be the farmhouse, but it was extremely big, as you can tell. Like, this would have been your living room. Something you almost can't see to the other end of. And then I just put, like, wooden shipping crates in here. I'll get to this later. I finished this today. But yeah. Now, being that this is an older world, older villagers, the old villages spawned in, because it was before the Village and Pillage update, reworking villages, that I created this world. We'll get to those later. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm thinking more like Dan TDM's lab from his early videos, but I don't know what it was. I don't remember ever building this, but obviously I did, so I'm thinking that's what that is, but like I said, no memory of that. Over here's a bank, and so I set this up so you could rob it. So this is the teller counter back here, and then that's that. So basically there's a trap door under the leaves out here, and then if you break the leaves and go into the trap door, which we're not going to do because it's in the way to put back, you can come through this air vent and break these, and then come out into this loot room here, the vault. And then there's a secret room here. Just for convenience, I'm going to bust the door. And then you can go down here, and this is like where all the moolah is. Now I hid stuff way behind the walls in the dirt, but I can't find it. I don't have the patience to excavate all that, so that's hidden in there somewhere. But yeah, that's that. That's the bank. Something here. Just puts. This must have been me practicing with diagonal blocks or something. Anyway, we're gonna push on to the villages. There are 3 villages in this local area. So if we come to this first one, this is where I've built this house over here. I finished it, or I've been working on it for the past couple days. There's a village out there, and then there's another one there. And these are all the old villages. So if anyone played Minecraft before the Village and Pillage update, you will know the villages look like this. And obviously they didn't update them. They only created new existing villages that were updated. Is what the update did. So we can see the old blacksmith places in here. The old well, the villagers were all trapped in here. I had to rescue them from that. Remember these houses, these little like pubs with bookshelves in them. The only villager house that stayed the same was the churches. And there's one of those here as well. So I built this place over here, this medieval style large house. So as you can see, this is obviously before I got better at building. And so I built it. And this is an archive building, like what we had in the previous world. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll watch my other videos on Minecraft on my channel. I talk about an archive building, and I go into it and showcase rare items or lesser known items. Well, that's the purpose of this, and this one looks better than the one in that other world. So this is Fidelity Archives Incorporated, and then I moved. The villagers kept coming to these barrels and locking on them as fishermen. I was able to switch most of them, but I had to keep taking the barrels out. So I'm going to build individual houses for these guys and move them out of here. But sadly, I couldn't get a couple of these guys to change, and it was just too aggravating to keep putting the barrels back. So sadly, I had to strike them down. And I created graves for them as well. So those will always be remembered there. So, in this archive, there is rare and unusual items. As purpose of an archive are various rare animals, a skeleton horse, mules. If you name a rabbit Toast, it will become to look like this after one of the Minecraft developers' rabbit that supposedly looked like this died. They put this Easter egg in the game. We also have a zombie horse, can only be summoned in creative and in survival with commands. And then if you name a horse or a sheep Jeb underscore, it becomes rainbow, or it just changes colors. And then a donkey, which are usually lesser used mobs. So a little enclosure for that. If we go in, we have Franklin Cobalt, founder of Fidelity Archives. We also have Bertram Cobalt, who is his twin, who's also the co-founder. So in here, this is our archive. We have chain armor, which is usually not used, and you can't get it in survival without commands or finding it in a chest. Horse armor, we have all the variants of that. Not very commonly used because there's better things to use those materials for in survival. These are the rare, these are command blocks here. We have an impulse command block. We have a chain command block. And then we have a repeat command block. So that just changes the different types of commands, whether you want them to repeat or, you know what I mean. So that's the different variations of that. And then you can summon that in with commands, but it's not in the basic inventory, so I have it in here. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to reorganize my inventory. So over here is the ultimate rarity part of the archive. So we have here all of the blocks that you can get from commands. So do not look through the inventory for these because you're not going to find them. You have to use commands. And so obviously you can just go on YouTube and look up the commands. I'm not going to go through all the commands to get them today, but basically they're just unusual blocks that you would be surprised how many people don't know about. So the first thing we have is a barrier block. So basically these follow the player and you can put them around stuff. So if I wanted to put barriers around all this so you can't run into it, and people in survival cannot break them, only people and players in creative. When you don't have it in your hand, they are not visible and they are not visible to anybody else. So you're wondering why I can't walk right up against this glass here. It's because there are barrier blocks. That is the purpose of that. Border blocks. It just basically works like a conventional wall that you place, and it is the same thing. You cannot break anything above it or anything below it if you are a player in survival. You cannot jump over it, you cannot fly over it, I'm pretty sure, stuff like that. So that's what that does. And it emits like a red smoke thing. That's a border block. Pretty much works the same way as a barrier block, but it's a wall. Here we have structure blocks. Structure blocks are used for saving and loading structures. So if I wanted to copy this building, I could by placing it at the corner and basically adjusting the coordinates to encapsulate the whole building in this border box that you see here. Then I can save it, and then I can put the structure block in load mode right here, like this. It'll look like this from this, and then I can put it anywhere and then load it. Now I would have to save the structure in the structure block. There are videos on YouTube going through that. I may make a video, but for now we're just showcasing the entire structure as possible. So basically I can load the structure in that I copied somewhere else if I wanted to duplicate it or move it or you know what. I'm not particularly savvy with these blocks. I've only had a little bit of practice with it, but I will be using it in future builds if I need to. Over here we have a structure block that is in corner mode. So corner mode, just basically, corner mode is used with the detect button in save mode to define the area to save. It will only detect corner blocks with the same name as the structure being saved. So I'm not too sure what that does. I'd have to read a little bit more into it, but that's also a version of that. So those are the three modes of structure blocks. On the back splash of the structure blocks, we have light blocks. So basically, these are invisible blocks that light up a room without you having to place light blocks like these that are visible and are solid. These blocks are not solid. You can jump right through them. And they're just like barrier blocks, they are not visible unless the item is in your hand. So they range anywhere from light level 0 all the way to 15. So the three levels that I have chosen are 0, 5, and 15. So just for example here, I could build a little box around myself and make it really dark in here. And then if I put a light block in, it lights it up, but you don't see it like you would if it was a solid block. And so that's that. Those are light blocks. And so there are all 16 levels of those in item frames. And those are good for lighting up buildings that you may not have enough space to stick lights in. This here is a deny block. A deny block is how this building is built on a foundation of deny blocks. So if I grab these, this is built on a foundation of deny blocks. Should be somewhere here. As you can see, and basically, when given the right circumstances and the right, because you can adjust what players are allowed to do when they come into your world. If you put them in survival mode, players in survival mode cannot break blocks above or below deny blocks. And so it just basically does its name, denies the user from being able to do anything with the blocks above or below it. An allow block does just the opposite. It allows a player in adventure mode, where you can only break blocks with the specific tool required for it. So you can't like punch dirt with your hand and break it, you need a proper tool. Allow blocks, when having those blocks placed on it, will allow you to break it with your hand, with anything in adventure mode. So they allow you to break it per going against the rules of the mode that you're in. So that's the purpose of that. And then a jigsaw block is for loading in structures that are not already there. So like villages, desert temples, jungle temples, a woodland mansion if you want to, things like that. I've never used it before. I'd have to watch a tutorial video, but I just know about it and I may use it eventually. But that's that. We also have a repeat command block like this one, but in a minecart. So if you need it in a minecart, obviously that's for that. We still have the original fireplace from this old medieval house in here as well. It's not being currently used. This house has an AC unit with a ventilation system, but it does not have a furnace because the fireplace is turned on in the winter to heat the house. You might still want to bring a jacket to tour this place. Like I said, it's not any of the original furniture or anything in here. It's just a tourist attraction. In here is a helmet perfectly pushed into a chest, as you can see. So it looks like it's in there, and that's where your armor is. Just an armor stand with the chest pushed onto it. Here we have our computer for our manager and things like that. Thermostat adjustment, and then the ventilation vents using the new bamboo signs that look like vents. And they are vents, as you can see, because there's air coming through that. So they are functional as vents as well. We have those throughout the house, throughout the building. So up here we have the stuff that is in the inventory, but it's like lesser known or not commonly used, or just something that I may think they may try to take out of the game or something, just something that's not usually seen. And I put that in here. So here we have an M portal with I've enter in it, and then an M portal. We also have a chorus fruit plant with the item for that, and then a chorus plant with a popped chorus fruit. So these grow in the end dimension, and some people, I rarely ever see it used by anyone. And then this is the original card to that shipping container, that black one that says, or the one that made of obsidian that says FII on it over there where my cursor's on. This is the original key card. It uses a key card system to be able to get into, and that's where all this stuff is stored. Duplicates of all these items in case they should be taken away from here or destroyed in this building or something. And so that's the original card. I didn't get it out of the vault. We'll check it out when we go there. This is reinforced deep slate, just added to the game. Probably won't ever be taken out. But I just have it here. Man-made beehive. You usually see regular beehives over man-made ones. Bottle of dragon's breath. Bottle of enchanting, and all the mushroom blocks, which are lesser used. We also have all the mob heads. They also recently added a piglin head as well. So I put that there. Then this is where the heat comes through from the bottom part of the fireplace to heat this upper floor of the house. And so that's that. I didn't put anything in here. Up here, we have a respawn anchor charged once, and then 3 more respawn anchors charged twice, 3 times, and 4 times. So each, and these basically just allow you to respawn the nether. They were added in the nether update. Bane of Arthropod books. I don't usually see people using these or spending XP. I don't, and I don't really hear of anyone else. Obviously, I could be wrong, but spending the XP to put that on. And then I have an Arthropod Eviscerator that has Bane of Arthropods 5 on it. So that basically, I guess, just kills spiders better or does something. I don't even know what it really does, but I just put that in there as a rare item. Trap chests. You don't really see these used too much anymore. At least I never really hear of them. I put that there. Basically, if you wanted to rig this to redstone, you have the floor open up into a pit of lava when somebody comes in to try to steal the valuables. That's what that used to be used for. Ender chests, still very useful. Probably will never be taken out, but I put it in there anyway. Basically, when you put something in an ender chest and place it anywhere else in the world, that items will transfer to every ender chest in the world. So if I open this up here, all these items will be in here. If I place another one on the other side of the world and open up, these same items will still be in there. So it's good for transferring stuff. Still useful. So yeah, dragon egg. Here I have a 999 fine gold Ausgezeichnet LLC Eastern Time Clock. Ausgezeichnet is a German word for excellent, and they are LLC, so they are a company that makes excellent home essentials products and various weapons like this one. So these are all Ausgezeichnet bows. Here we have the Kurzbogen, which is a short bow, armbrust, it should say. I'll fix that, M2023, and then the Schrot armbrust M2023A1, which launches 3 arrows instead of 1. So those are all weapons that I used to fight the pillagers back at the house that you saw. Lodestone, no, probably not going to be taken out because that's how you make your compass work in the nether. We have a regular compass. We have a lodestone pirate's compass. We have a regular lodestone compass for use in the nether. You can't find this in the inventory. You have to take this and right click on a lodestone to get this, and then a recovery compass, and then we have an end crystal here. So as you can see here, Fidelity Archives Inc. is not responsible for any injuries as a result of acting like an idiot and punching this crystal and blowing the house and yourself up. So it says to not touch that, and please don't act like an idiot in this building. Obviously common sense, but they can't stress enough on this sign, don't touch it. So obviously if you get hurt, they will not be responsible. So that's that there. Highly explosive, don't want to hit that. And then here I have some items and item frames. So we have a fire charge, a rabbit's foot, a fragment of disc 5, amethyst shard, echo shard, prismarine shard, and prismarine crystals, all the mob heads, a brick, nether brick, shulker shell, and then the 4 name tags that like Jeb, which makes the sheep rainbow, Toast, which makes the rabbit a certain tone, Dinner Bone, which turns any mob named with it upside down, and Johnny, which makes a Vindicator attack peaceable mobs instead of just villagers and players. So Johnny is obviously a reference to The Shining and his unusual aggression and weirdness. So that's why if you name a Vindicator Johnny, he will become murderous. I did name an Iron Golem Johnny. We should see him walking around somewhere out here. Or no, I don't know. But he's somewhere. We're not going to pay attention to that. But anyway, that is this house. The archives. Now, if we come over here to Fidelity, FAI, which stands for Fidelity Archives Incorporated, they have a shipping container in this box. Now, stone had to be placed under all of this wood, to replace the wood, because obviously a heavy structure like this would just break the wood. Not sure why I put wood in here. I need to add an entrance and a road to the village over there for people who need to come in this shipping container. Now, this is a handle for a big machine or crane to pick it up if it needs to be carried away. So we have Fidelity Archives Incorporated and a phone number for Max Storage, which is where the container is rented from. I don't have a Max Storage building yet, so we will obviously get to that. This requires a Fidelity security card and special clearance to be able to enter. So we have to put this in. As you can see, cannot open it yet until I put in my Fidelity security card and hit the button. Now I will have a better system here, obviously, for a walk-in and everything. So you will collect your Fidelity security card back from the cabinet here, and then you need a Fidelity Archives Incorporated container inner door time key. So basically it's a time key because it only gives you about a second to walk through the door. For the door closes again, you gotta hit the button a second time. So that's what that's for. There's also a third key. It is a Fidelity Archives Incorporated container mechanism door keys. This will take you to the mechanism inside the. This is the key code door mechanism that allows the key code door to function. Only certified technicians and people with proper clearance can have these keys to go in there and fix that if it should break, and just look at it if it needs looking at. And so if you don't have any of these keys, cannot enter into the special warehouse, and you're certainly not digging through either. So this is where all duplicates of all of these items are stored should something happen to them in the main Fidelity Archive building, and they should be replaced. So there are copies of all of these items in here. Okay, and then this was the original FAI con card, and that was the code that the machine read. So basically, that's the code that you need, not the code now, it's different code. Fidelity Archives Incorporated _card, and that's just tells you that it's Carper machine compatible, which is what that is known as, Carper machine. But the code now is different and is in invisible ink on the Fidelity security card. Alright, so that's that, and then we also have spares of any items needed in here. And that's the spare. So with that being said, that is everything in the Fidelity Archives area, and that is pretty much everything in this world that I need. Oh, and there's one more thing that we need to discuss today. Clearance key in here, forgot my key. Alright, so head out here. Alright, this house over here, past the neighbor house, or the neighbor starter house, or whatever you want to call it. This is a house I built. This is when I started to learn how to make proper house roofs. Still looks like crap, the house, but this is the house. So you come in here. This villager's been in here as long as I can remember. I used to have a white coat back before they retextured all the villagers, and his name has always been Sean. Kitchen here, attic. I was into really weird stuff, like I put all this like seance stuff in here, like as you can see there. We're just gonna ignore a lot of these attic parts of this because there's lots of disturbing things we're not gonna look at. This was the bedroom that I built. I was in all this like, it's like kind of like goth stuff. Really not too fond of it. I think it's pretty junky looking. There's always sayings on the signs, but those didn't render, so it's not there. There used to be a dolphin in there, I think, or something. So yeah, I'm not going to tear any of it down, obviously, because it's extremely historic. We come up here, and there's all these mannequins that makes this attic extremely unsettling. Probably more cringy now. And it's much darker up here for me, but I have the camera set on a brighter brightness so you can see this world in its more vibrant colors. We have a lone window out here, and then obviously a creeper that has decided to come in. Yeah, we have a couple mobs spawning in here because I have the difficulty set. I'll set it back to peaceful soon. So yeah, that's what's going on in this house. I had like a time traveling machine here that didn't time travel anywhere. Places to play music. And then a balcony to come look on both sides. Not too sure what the purpose of that is. But yeah. That's this house. And then there's a functional sit-at table. Not sure what this is. But yeah. That's this house, and that's pretty much everything in this world. There's a couple other contraptions over here. There's this leaf house. there's a trapdoor you can go in underneath it. We're not going to do that, but yeah. That's pretty much the world and everything it has to offer at the moment. The other two villages way out in the distance are pretty much the same as the first one, so nothing to really see there. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for today's videos. Please like, subscribe, it helps out the Band of War Variety channel, and stay tuned for the next videos. And yeah, this will be the video that I will be making videos on, or the world that I will be making videos on from now on, and building and adding things to. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoy looking at these creations.